Hey, Roaring. Hey, Roaring. Hey, Roaring. Jeg har en turf and in Tom's penis. Garbage, 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 garbage.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SEN Live. It's the Schmodown Entertainment Network. We talk about Schmodown on this channel. Nice to see everybody here on this Tuesday, July 21st, I think. So, yeah, man. It's good to see everybody here. It's going to be a good show. A really good show here. Look at the crew that we have. Obviously, always joined by the wonderful RB3. There he is. Look at that shirt, RB3. Ben Goddard was leading heavily in the Rookie of the Year polls if you were to vote today on the Facebook.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're crushing right now.
Wow.
Managers of the Schmodown, Roxy Striar, and another front runner for Manager of the Year right now, Winston Marshall.
It was my dog. She did everything. It wasn't me.
Crushing.
Oh,
You look at that
potato.
poll. You look at that poll. But the season's far from over, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Brett Sheridan, he's around. What's up, buddy? So, yeah, we got a show. And I'm going to start off by apologizing because yesterday I didn't realize this was definitely my fault. Because a lot of times when I see comments that come in and people who are like, this is clickbait, this is bullshit. And I'm like, come on, they talked about the damn thing. I posted inside of it. I sent to both Goddard and Roke and Brett. And there's a two-part to this about the Kong and Godzilla trailer. There is no trailer. I watched and we talked about it on Skybound too on Sunday, by the way. It was a fan-made, very well made fan-made trailer that I thought was legit. So I said, all right, here you go, everybody. Take it out. And then so I went to the graphics guy, and he made the trailer. So it's all on me. So every single person who wrote inside of that comment section yesterday that this is clickbait, you're 100% right. But that's why I changed it. I changed it yesterday to image. The goof was on me. So sorry about that. Shit happens. Yeah, it wasn't a real trailer.
It was confusing that it had John C. Reilly's VO in it. That was a little confusing to me, but I just went with it. I don't.
People be editing nowadays. Like these fan-made trailers are getting real good, so I can't even blame you that much.
It was, dude, and plus the fact that you were getting all this stuff for the Skybound Expo, and all this stuff was coming in, and I had seen the Kong first look stuff. I'm like, oh, there's a trailer. So I searched for the trailer. I searched for like the last 24 hours. I found that one. I was like, oh, that's it. And I looked at it, I was like, this looks pretty legit. I'm like, all right, I like the trailer. Let's talk about it. I was like, you know what? And let them talk about it tomorrow. And then I saw in the description that it didn't have trailer in it. I'm like, why did these guys change the shit? Why did they talk about the trailer? And they're like, oh, they did talk about the trailer. I said, wait a minute. There's no trailer. And I saw the entire comment section go, this is BS. And not one of you that wrote that was wrong. Not one of you that wrote it. You had every right to be pissed off about that because when I saw people writing clickbait, I'm like, it's not clickbait, you idiots. They talked about the trailer. And I was like, wait, there is no trailer. I'm the idiot. So.
Yo, Kristian, I just got to say, man, because like you're not normally wrong about stuff like this. It is so bittersweet when you all know.
You know? Hey, dude, I had to own it. Like, it was when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot. Anyway, Roxy, how you doing?
Okay, here, alive. You know.
Yeah, just hanging in there.
Is anybody not at this point? I mean, I think everybody. If you're thriving during this time, you're a serial killer.
And I saw that tweet, and I said you're probably not wrong. I'll tell you what, though, we normally don't talk about this type of stuff on the show, but Roxy got me watching the Epstein doc on Netflix, Filthy Rich. Look, this has nothing to do with left side, right side. There's crooked people all over this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's crazy and continues to be like all week. There's been more news.
I know. Yeah, this whole stuff with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah,
and like the fact that it's a common thing that people think, oh yeah, how's she gonna die? Is so fucked up. There should be Truman Show like level cameras on this woman.
I know. When they announced that she had COVID, and everybody was like, "This is how they're gonna do it."
Yep.
Well, then
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, did you hear about the one thing with the federal judge?
Yeah,
who's, like,
dude.
responsible for a case?
That's tied. That's also tied. Look, the thing is with that judge, she's had a lot of high profile cases, like a lot of like powerful cases, but it's how much of a coincidence is it? Like just a couple of days ago, she gets the Swiss bank, or whatever. The bank.
A portion of the Epstein case.
Yeah, but it's connected. It's just more. It's like more money laundering stuff that's connected to Epstein, and it's like there's so much.
You hear about the shooter?
Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Yeah,
well, no, like
they found him dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
Dude, this is like Pelican Brief stuff.
Yeah.
It's like this is.
But it's real.
I know.
It's where we live. It's crazy.
If John Grisham had written this, you'd be like, oh, this is just another John Grisham book. But this is real. This is all real. This is crazy shit. You watch that doc, dude. Look, the reason I didn't tune into the doc in the first place is because I was like having daughters and everything, or something. I don't need to go down this, but I started watching this thing, and it's fascinating. It is fascinating in the most in the craziest way, that the title of the doc being Filthy Rich, of what this guy got away with because of how much money and how he got his money. Like, I didn't realize how he became as rich as he was, because he's been bribing motherfuckers for years. For years, he's been bribing people, and the question is, like, and they said throughout this, he's got tapes on everybody. He's got tapes on everybody. Where are those tapes? Where are those tapes? Does Maxwell know where those tapes are? Like, it's crazy.
I feel like I understand what you were saying about concerns about having daughters. So you're like, I don't know if I can stomach it, but I feel like that's exactly why you watch this, or Surviving R. Kelly, so that you don't end up in your daughters can't end up like this, and we can put a stop to this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
it's stupid. It just shows you the Winston in this doc, and Roxy, I'll let you talk about it a little bit more too. This is just like Epstein and Maxwell. That's just the start of it. That's just the start of it. Like, you're running like pyramid schemes, and like this ring goes so far and so deep, and it's why I think the majority of people now, like, I know that originally when he was pronounced dead, everyone's like, oh, don't be a conspiracy theorist. I think more and more as you see like the people who, like, the doctors that come out and go, yeah, it looks like pretty impossible.
Curtis donated $20.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
schmoes. This little ditty goes out to my man Winston. Ready? Wasting your time drinking that wine, smoking that smoke, doing that coke, dealing that dope, giving up hope, gang banging.
Gang banging.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Gang banging.
I'm just curious. Like I said, we don't really ever talk about this type of stuff on this show, but I'm just curious in the chat, and I'm not saying there's no one that's gonna argue with you or not. Just a yes or no. Do you think Epstein was murdered? Just a yes or no. I'm curious. I'm just curious to see in the chat what they say. Like, how many people, yes or no, do you think he was murdered? That's what I want to see in the chat.
And I have a follow-up question. Did I have a follow-up question? Did OJ do it? Yes.
Right.
The answer is yes.
I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, everybody thinks. I mean, the majority is saying yes, he was killed.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's pretty
What
obvious.
happens?
It's nuts. Go ahead, Rox.
What happens if the Netflix doc Filthy Rich doesn't come out? Does Ghislaine Maxwell never get arrested?
I don't know. Well, I don't know, because the reason I'd say I don't know if it's just because of the doc. I'm sure like it pointed more of a light, but I think that if you look at that case in general, I mean, that dude was in front of the Palm Beach Authority.
Wasn't promised, donated $20. Epstein didn't kill himself. It was the Schmominati.
I'll tell you though, man. Like it's Roxy. Like, this is what 2008, 2009 when he was brought in front of like in West Palm or whatever it was in Florida, and then the dude that Trump put on the freaking in his staff, like, just let him go with this rotten plea, or it was like, it's insane. And it was the same case basically. It wasn't like any new charges that were based. It was the same case. They just figured another way to get him through like federal stuff, and it was like, and because eventually, and I what they said in the doc is just the after all the stuff went down with like Weinstein and the whole Me Too movement, it shifted stuff, and people went after him. It's a fascinating doc, whether you think he did or he didn't or whatever. If you're left, if you're right, whatever it is, it's a fascinating doc to watch, because it really shows you we have no power. And you think you do. You have no power whatsoever.
Kristian, you think there's a team he didn't?
There are some people in here that said no. There are some people. Roxy. Roxy. There are people who think that the Earth is flat.
I know.
Well, I mean, I think
I am sooner to thinking the Earth is flat than thinking that Jeffrey Epstein didn't do this.
Well, oh, you mean he killed himself?
Oh, that's what.
No. The question was.
Oh, I thought you meant whether you think that he did or didn't.
Oh no. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody who thinks he's in it.
I'd still make that statement. The Earth is closer to being flat than Epstein closer to killing himself.
Right. It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's a fascinating doc. Yeah,
it's weird because I think this is the one time in history that like the conspiracy theory is like the popular opinion. You know what I mean? Like nobody believes what they're telling us.
No. Because and there's not, and that's why like people got to be sweating bullets right now that Maxwell is out there, right? Because she's got like where are those tapes? Where are those tapes? And you look at this stuff with Prince Andrew, that crooked motherfucker.
I mean, what about that,
dude?
What like about that? But he's still just like Princeton,
just running around doing it. Look,
I feel like
but Clinton, another one. You know, he's out there like. That was the one thing. We know Clinton has been proven many times to be a bold-faced liar. We've seen it many times. And he's I didn't have sex with a woman. Yes, you did. It's like, I didn't do this. Yes, you did. I ever cheated on my wife. Yes, you did. But the one thing that I thought was interesting inside of that doc was that one of the women who really broke the case open says, "Look, I never saw Clinton do one thing inappropriate, but he was there. He was at the island. I saw him many times. I was never at the island. Yes, you were. There's pictures of you with this guy. All of it. You were there. Now, whether or not you did anything, you know, like Chris Tucker was there. Did he do anything? I don't know. It doesn't mean because he was on the island. Does it necessarily mean he was doing this stuff? It doesn't give you a good, alibi, and you might have known what was going on, you know. But it's like I don't know.
I mean, we've seen enough movies where like dude just shows up to the murder of like his whole family and work staff, and he had nothing to do with it, but it just looks bad because you walked in, you stepped in a pile of blood.
But Winston, that's different. That's different than getting on a plane and going to a private island.
Yeah.
well, that is also a very valid.
Yeah. It's one thing like, oops, I didn't know they were doing that. As opposed to, oops, I didn't know that when I got on this plane with this guy who was convicted,
like tripped and fell on the private plane into his seats onto the island,
and he was already convicted of something like 10 years before. Or pleaded guilty, excuse me, to at least one charge and got off and got his. It was such a crooked deal. It's like he got off all his conspirators and they couldn't be charged. It's crazy. The documentary is nuts. I was obsessed with it. Because it's just so nuts to know how like powerless we all are. We're powerless. Like
I feel like this was almost like the Epstein thing. I feel like they kind of purposely made it like a little obvious and sloppy to like kind of let everybody else know if you get arrested, you're not making it to trial. Like I feel like it was almost like a calling card type situation where it's like, oh, the cameras were turned off, the security guard was on break,
right.
So it was like so obvious to be like, we can get to you wherever. It does not matter.
And what they didn't mention in the doc that if you do research on, he got his ass kicked like fucking 5 days before by some big dude jacked dude that like was in there for murder, and he fucked them up bad, and then they took him off suicide watch right afterwards. Like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
And we're gonna give you a cellmate. Good luck. It's like, come on, man. It's like it's so nuts, and the fact that we like everybody should be paying attention to this Ghislaine Maxwell stuff. Because she's not going to trial to what, Rox? Like 2021, July 2021 or something?
It's insane. And like she has to talk before then.
Dude, it's like Hunger Games. She's got to survive until 2021.
I know. And like when you can just say, sorry, the cameras were out in the prison that day. What?
Yeah,
like,
but you can't do that because and if you look at that doc, it's like because the place they put him in was a shithole.
Yeah.
It was a shithole. But why is he in a shithole?
Yeah.
He should be in the most secure place ever.
So that people could get to him. It's kind of wild too how I don't know if you guys have gone down the Making a Murderer rabbit hole or obviously the Tiger King rabbit hole. Like it's just kind of insane that the way that justice is brought to light sometimes in 2020 is like you have to get a Netflix doc made about you. They have cracked open the case on so many massive cases that involve straight up murder, rape, assault, corruption to the nth degree. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Nuts. It's nuts how locked in the both of them were with all of these powerful people, and the fact that, like, even looking at the chat, everyone's like, yeah, she's gone or she's not going to make it, and the fact that we're accepting that.
Yeah.
Well, because
you know what I mean?
Do Kristian? Like
I know.
We all go like band around her.
No, listen, she's a scumbag. She is an evil. To what most people are saying, these victims that he was basically just the creepy fucking weirdo, and she was the puppet master. She was the one. She was like the high level kind of extrovert that got everything done.
It seems that way. I mean, she's the one who goes across the bridge and finds all the women and manipulates them to coming back. Right. It's like she is really the worst kind of human being.
She's rotten.
On the planet.
She's a rotten, evil person. Like, you read the stuff that she did, and of course she's denying stuff, but she was hiding. It's nuts. But the thing is, the fact that we know how much dirt she has on so many people. And the fact that we're just like, yeah, she's not going to make it. And then you see this dude who kills the judge's kid, and then before he can talk, he's found dead. And oh yeah, he felt bad about it and he killed himself.
I in no way, shape, or form am I trying to make light of it at all. But the SVU, they did a whole 5-episode arc about this, of literally about, you had the creepy kind of pimp that was friends with everybody, but then there was a madam behind all of it that was fucking this shit up. And they're really good, honestly, about doing their research on, they did the Duke case in one. They did the one girl that got put in the psych ward at Amherst or whatever, So I wouldn't be surprised.
Do they call? Do they say, "Come watch this week's Jeffrey Epstein spin"? What they do
is it'll be very thinly veiled. They say at the front, the disclaimer, these are fictional characters. They may or may not be based on stuff, but they're not real. But then they did a Chris Brown Rihanna thing where right up front you instantly knew who they were, even though they didn't have the same names. And then it's the same thing plays out, that they're in the back of a limo and Rihanna says something, and then the Chris Brown character walls on her, and then that's how it goes from there, and they just kind of take it in their own direction. But a lot of the stuff that you were seeing with this Epstein and Maxwell shit was in that 5-episode arc. So I'm curious if they did their research too about this, and you know what I mean, and applied that, but I don't know.
That's a whole different can of worms too. I know, again, this show doesn't usually do this, but you beat the shit out of a woman, you don't deserve to be loved in society. Come on, what are we talking about? All of these things that keep coming up. It's so wild that, Kristian, going back to what you said, we have no power. It doesn't really matter what happens. This is where my spiral begins. But it's crazy. We have nothing.
I don't understand. I just don't understand it. But it's one of those things where I guess it's money. It's all money. But anyway, Rox, give me another breakdown. What else are you watching besides this kind of stuff? You watching anything?
I've gone back. Well, first of all,
can we do another hour on this though? Because this one is really brightening my spirits up a little bit. I'll be right back. I have to go eat 7 Xanax.
Save some for me. I finished Working Moms and still have not received a text from Kristian on whether or not Catherine Reitman will be my new.
I don't know if I have her. I don't even know if I have her. I sent her a text. I either don't have the right number still, or she doesn't give a shit about me anymore. I don't know. So I got to see.
You got all my hopes up. Now I've moved on to Love. Did you guys watch that? The Judd Apatow show?
Yes.
That's on Netflix.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
So good.
So good. It's a good show. It's a good show.
It's really good. I think it came out several years ago, and there's only 3 seasons, but it's really funny. It's very Judd Apatow-esque. It's quirky. It's really good. So I've just been binging like a crazy person recently. I didn't watch any TV for the first part of quarantine, and then all of a sudden I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm back to my usual ways. Oh, TV is getting me through this time. Living by yourself, woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
I know you can't really do anything. You can't go out and meet people right now.
Can't really do anything. I literally am going insane, Kristian.
Listen, Having 2 kids. It's not. I feel so bad.
Your abs look great though.
That's true. You're getting your ab work in, girl.
The only thing I have is my body. That's all I have. Must look hot. Has nothing else.
You feel better. I certainly don't have that. So there you go.
No.
It's fine. You've got love, a family, a house, backyard. It's cool. Same.
Yeah.
I'd trade it all for the abs.
I would too, actually. I would trade it
I'm
all
just
for the
kidding. Did you hear
abs.
that?
The dog just said real nice.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Shuri, here's the thing. I've been fat since like 3rd grade, so if I want abs over you, I mean, I love you, but you know.
So when you write your inevitable book that is about to come out soon, Winston, can you please call it "I've been fat since the 3rd grade"?
Oh god damn! I mean, I had a couple other titles from a stand-up special, but shit, bitch, I guess it's just gonna be "I've been fat since the 3rd grade."
3rd grade, but it's AT. That's even better. All right, let's move on. Let's move on here to some of these other stories. There's a big story moving, and Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is. There's so many rumors about what the hell's going to happen with, they had the one series that they canceled. There was the one that they were going to do. I guess this is the one that they're going to do. There was that kind of thousands of years beforehand, and they're going to they're going to focus on the Targaryens. That was something that they talked about doing. So HBO, this is from Dark Horizons. When HBO ditched its original planned Game of Thrones prequel spin-off series for another, one more closer to the time period of its let's see. What to expect of the series came a little bit more into focus. House of the Dragon, the new series, is set 3 centuries earlier, and will delve into the history of House Targaryen. Okay, I didn't know it was 3 centuries. The news allows for the producers to delve into some of the backstory not seen in the series that has been a part of the George R.R. Martin A Song of Ice and Fire book series. Now, a new report has gone up at CBR this week, which indicates that the series is on the hunt for 2 female leads. One will be the character Rhaenyra. There's no way I said that right. The other, Alicent Hightower. In the lore, the beautiful R attempts to usurp the Iron Throne from her brother Aegon II in the war known as the Dance of Dragons. Alicent is her stepmother and has a bitter rivalry with her. Martin co-created the 10-episode first season with Ryan Condal, with the project expected to go on air in 2022. I think this is going to be exciting. Thank you. So it's Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra? Huh? What?
Rhaenyra? I hardly know her.
I sacrifice Roxy. I nominate Roxy as tribute to be one of the female leads. Ready?
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that. I can go blonder. Can I be honest with you guys about this news?
No.
Thank you.
Train donated $20. Dr.
Thank you,
Anthony
Train.
Fauci is scheduled to throw out the first pitch in the Yankees versus Nationals game on Thursday to open up the season. I think the TV ratings for baseball will skyrocket from previous seasons, knowing that it's the first major sport to come back.
Yeah, I think so too, and it's great to have the Fauci out there. But we'll go back to, and by the way, just before we get into Roxy's thoughts over here about why she hates this, so go make sure we've been getting the crew back. You guys have been so great with the donations. That keeps us going. The obviously putting in the Schmobots helps tremendously. Keep them coming. Streamlabs.com/the Schmodown. We have a lot to talk about here today in general, so we'd love to get you guys as part of the discussion. Put your questions in. Ben's going to be reading those out a little bit later, but the Schmobot, it's available the entire time. So like I said, if you like having the crew back, if you want to see the crew back come back as much as they have been, keep doing what you're doing. Keep having these donations in, and we'll be able to keep everybody around. So thank you so much.
Because Winston and Rox don't want to lose their job. Because Winston and Rox, they want to keep their job. Cause
I gotta feed a dog. Yeah. I gotta feed a dog.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, God. You like that one, Kristian, clearly. Good. I'm glad.
I was trying to find this, and I couldn't do it. Oh, here it is.
Gotta feed my dog.
How you gonna do that if we ain't taking in that hog?
Taking in the hog?
All right,
It's like
I'm gonna
getting
go
paid.
check on that Ethernet cable my wife borrowed.
Sometimes you gotta take in the hog.
Said you haven't been. You said you've been home alone. How are you taking in the hog?
Look
I'm
at
not taking in any hog.
look at Ben over here being like, I could have been Twitch streaming right now. This is some bullshit.
Taking in the hog is my new favorite thing, though. That's so funny.
I meant money, like.
What, or was it? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. I mean, he's gone. Damn it.
He genuinely went to go find an Ethernet cable. He is not pleased.
Oh, poor Brett. Life must be so hard when you're in love with children.
Oh my God! Stop it.
You too, dog man.
Hey, fine. I'm gonna go get you a cat, and I'm gonna go find you a dude that's just gonna wait on you hand and foot. He'll sit outside your apartment and do whatever. How about that?
Word.
Cool. Word up. Tell me why you don't like this.
It's not that I don't like this. I think we talked about this on the show back in the day. I loved the Game of Thrones final season. Yeah. So I was one of the very few who was really into the Game of Thrones final season. That the final episode was not good, but the final season I was all about.
Yeah. I gotta go find an Ethernet cable. I'll be right back.
Bring me back the hog when you come back, please. We
Are
traded
we still
one for the
talking
other.
about taking in that hog?
No.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
You keep using that word.
So when they announced the spin-offs, I was stoked. Like, I wanted more Game of Thrones all the times. All I wanted was Game of Thrones. I don't know whether it's because of quarantine or the time has taken place, or that I feel like no productions are going to be, we're not going to be seeing any jack shit for 5 years. This news means nothing to me. Like, I'm having a hard time being like, wow, this is like for sure the spinoff I want. Unless they do what Winston says, which is cast me, and then like, I'm so there.
I would hope so, because you have to work.
I know.
It's easier. I think it's easier right now to absolutely say exactly that, Rox. And it's that, yeah, there's all this stuff happening in the world. Okay, cool. We're talking about this right now. It sounds good. But you know, as well as anybody else, that the second they actually do shoot it, put it into production, you're going to be watching it the day.
Stoked. Oh my God, I'm going to be so excited. It just all seems so not tangible right now.
Absolutely. That part of it, I agree with you, because it's just, I just like hearing news at all that is not tied to either wear a mask,
yeah, true, or
why aren't you wearing a mask, or Tenet. So it's like that's all you seem to be hearing about. But the fact that we can actually, have something like this, I'm excited for this. I still think I'm a little more excited.
Garrett_AM_Lee donated $20.
Thank you.
Good job, Roxy. Here's $20 for taking the hog.
Taking
crying.
I think that's prostitution.
It's funny because that's what we were thinking.
Oh, that's amazing.
Big Mo Movie Review donated $20.
Thank you,
Hey
Big Mo.
everyone, long time no see. It has been a while since I have watched Live and Oh Have I Missed You Schmucks. I've missed the interactions. And by the way, Jeremiah is legit one of the funniest things to happen on the show.
Thank you, and I'm glad to have you back, my man. But you and I have been doing shows together for a very long time. That is, and not that you haven't in the past. That is the funniest joke you've ever told.
Oh my God, thank you. This is really sweet of you.
That was pretty good, Rox.
Kristian, you don't usually like my jokes, but
Kristian,
I'll keep trying. I'll keep swinging.
Tickle the balls on your mic. You're cutting out. You got to give a little tickle to the.
Mike, Brett, you want to come over here and fix it?
No. I know the issue because I've seen you do it. You fiddle with it, and you just gotta give it a little reach around. Back in there.
Are we gonna get to see a live rendition of "Taking in the Hog"? Is that what's about to happen?
Hey,
the musical.
Roxy's gonna make us a lot of money today with that comment. I'm telling you what, it's gonna be the tagline of every schmobot.
No matter what it takes.
Found a woman standing by herself in the apartment. She wouldn't let him in. He was sad, alone, realizing he could not release the hog. So he punched the window. It didn't break. He stood there and said, in the theaters right after Tenet.
I hope that's how Tenet ends. Like honestly, the reason why we're not seeing Tenet still is because they saw this on SEN Live last week and they go, "Fuck! There goes our goddamn ending."
Jeremiah is the best. A lot of great. The Game of Thrones thing. I think that it's going to be.
We're still talking about that.
That I think that I might be a prisoner in the moment, but I just watched all the Lord of the Rings extended versions, and I think I'm a little more excited about the Amazon Lord of the Rings right now than I am Game of Thrones. But Ben, any new news on that? Are they in production? Are they shooting it? You figure they're the one show that probably is shooting in New Zealand.
The Lord of the Rings show. I'll look it up right now.
They gotta be.
You assume?
Yeah.
Peter Jackson have anything to do with that series?
Golden Eyes donated $20.
I think so.
Honestly, guys, I was not having the best day, and within 10 minutes of tuning in, I'm laughing so hard that I've already forgotten how stressed I was minutes ago. I fucking love you guys.
Same here.
He's not, if I remember correctly, because I had to do some research on this, he's not like directing or anything like that. I think they are checking in with him, but he's not full-blown involved in like a major capacity, if I remember correctly.
He's like quotation mark producers.
Yeah, like almost like a consultant kind of, but not like full hands-on or anything like that.
The most recent thing I have is from July 6th, where production shut down in March, but it said it's supposed to resume within a few weeks, and so it might be there's just nothing updated about it. But yeah, the production is supposed to be resuming pretty soon.
Long time no see, Rocks.
The hog.
The hog has not seen me in a long time. Rachel Cushing, who obviously would know the answer to your question, Kristian, is in the chat right now, and she said they planned on shooting in New Zealand, but they couldn't bring in all the Americans working on it due to COVID. Not sure they're ready to do that now either.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense. So that bumps me out. But anyway, look, the bottom line is once this shit show of a world gets back together eventually, whenever the hell that is, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to watch.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
But think about the months that we're gonna really have reality TV only, right? That's gonna be we're gonna have a 6-month minimum period in which we only have reality TV, right?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a lot. I mean, yes, for sure. And even like I said,
Mini Muffins donated $20. Take that and rewind it back. Roxy got the flow that make your hogs go slap.
Oh.
Hoggy Mini Muffins mic drop.
You've changed it to Hoggy Mini Muffins.
It's amazing. Also, I love that song. Take that, rewind it back.
Oh, John got to be to make your booty go hog.
Hog.
Look, there's a lot of stuff. Roxy talked about this earlier. She was able, and RB3, can we turn the Schmobot off for just a second here? Because Roxy mentioned earlier, she's got the her body. She's working on it. She's hitting the weights, doing the whatever the hell she's doing, the exercise. She's in good shape. I am not, but what I am doing is I am making sure that I am at least shaving rightly and doing it. Whether or not I don't want to be like a hairy mess. That's not what I want to do. And so what I've also done is made sure that I have Harry's. You guys know Harry's. We've talked about it many times on this show, and there was a big question as far as why Harry's. Why should we use Harry's? Well, I'll give you a couple of reasons why you should absolutely do it. Think about how much money you could save in just 1 year by switching to Harry's. You need some examples? You can save enough that you can buy 26 cups of coffee in New York, enough for 3 deep dish pizzas in Chicago, enough to pay 6 months of your Netflix subscription. How? Harry delivers high-quality razor blades as low as $2 each. It's a fraction of a price of the leading brand, and it's saving you hundreds of dollars over time. Now, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like the blades are really good. My wife steals them from me all the time. It's everything about it too. They're not flimsy. There's really good handle, which is awesome. And I've told you many times that freaking body wash. It's addicting. It smells very nice. I like it. It's a good smelling body wash. Look, you get a Harry's trial set, and it'll be delivered to your doorstep. And all you got to do, you go to the link in this description, or if you're listening an audio on Apple or Spotify, you go to harrys.com/SEN. It's a return to the essential. It's quality, durable blades at a fair price, $2 per blade. They cut out the middleman and they're manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision blades for over a century. It's very, 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 very convenient. Blade refills are delivered directly to your door on your schedule, with or without a subscription. You get blades, hair care, shower products, all that stuff. It's amazing. Listeners of this show can redeem their Harry's trial set at harrys.com/SEN. You get a weighted ergonomic handle for a firm grip, 5-blade razor with lubricating strip and trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy to grab on the go. One more time, you just go to harrys.com/SEN to start shaving and saving today. I know that you're buying a whole bunch of those razors and you're doing it wherever place you're getting your razors from. You're not getting the deal that you're going to get here. And I found that out really quick. So once again, go on to harrys.com/SEN. It's worth it. All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. This was sent by our friend Scott this morning. This was an article that someone, I guess, said is a tenant direct to HBO Max, the battering ram that Warner Media needs versus Amazon and Roku. It says HBO Max launched on May 27th with more of a whisper than a roar, despite being the central focus of Warner Media's long-term strategy. Max has not had any meaningful new original content to generate consumer buzz. At the same time, it has a distribution issue. Engaged in the first high-profile affiliate fee 2.0 battle with both Roku and Amazon's Fire TV. Given the strategic importance of HBO Max and the precedent it will set as it jockeys for position with its tvOS platform, we believe that HBO Max has to do something bold. AT&T, Warner Media now have the opportunity to do something that might have been viewed as a reckless pre-pandemic shifting tenant, a $200 million plus budget. So that is all of the article that he sent me, unfortunately. So, but for the most part, I get what they're saying here. It's should they move this over? Should they move it to HBO Max to try to get some more viewers, or is the loss of money just too big? Start with you, Winston. Do you think that by doing this they bring a lot of new subscribers in there, or is it just they need to make $400 million overall just to make worldwide to break even on this thing? What do you think?
I mean, I think the big thing to look at is the fact that they still don't even know what to do with their programming, that like they're pulling stuff left and right. I know that there's some contract stuff involved, but I feel like while we give a little bit of flack to Disney Plus being like, you didn't really have something right behind like Mandalorian to like put the feather in your cap, I feel like HBO Max is even worse because not only did you not really lead with any super strong products, I mean, you promised a Snyder cut next year. You don't have anything to make people get super geeked out about. It's mainly like we're pulling movies and like Gone with the Wind, which
Big
obviously
Mo
that's
Movie Review donated $20. 2021 is going to be stacked.
It is.
Positive way of thinking.
That's true.
True. Love 2021 already.
I mean,
2021 because it's not 2020.
I mean, that's also very, God, that's so sad that like you're not my ex, so we're good.
So we're in love and getting married right now.
But like, I mean, you pull that obviously for like more serious reasons, but like you're the Harry Potter movies are disappearing. You were pulling DC movies and all that kind of stuff. So I think you maybe put this up because you need something to get people geeked out about.
Yeah.
But I like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not that exact. Maybe they have something special that we don't know about. So
we'll see. So the legend of the Schmodown herself, Rachel Cushing, says in the chat room, I thought they were going to actually talk about Game of Thrones. That's why I stopped by.
Clickbait.
I mean, look, the thing is, I don't know enough about it. I was hoping like hopefully Rachel's still here and she can give us some idea of like, it's centuries before the Targaryens are going to be featured. I'm good with it. I think it's going to be fun. I think they're probably going to get, if George R. R. Martin is really invested in it and he's going to be doing similar to what he did in the first season, I think you're going to probably go back to that kind of cutthroat, pun intended, type of TV that we got from the first couple seasons. I think that they're going to try to do exactly that. Benioff and Weiss aren't involved in this, I don't believe. So it's going to be, it's going to be pretty. I mean, I don't know what else we can really talk about with it right now because it's like, what can we get? Who can we get?
Yeah, it's hard to even know what questions you would want the show to answer. Like, I don't know, because there's going to be so little correlation between this and Game of Thrones because it is so many centuries prior. It's probably not going to give us many answers to any of the character questions that we had from the series. So it would have to be like, why are the Targaryens the way they are? Why is this their interaction with other groups? How did this feud start? How did they get this reputation? I mean, I guess that's the kind of thing that we'd want to see addressed.
You get a little, you have a little bit of a window in that you do have the three-eyed raven. So whoever the current three-eyed raven is at the time, there's a possibility of tying stuff in. It does give you an opportunity for potential cameos and how this particular thing, the three-eyed raven, jumps hella far in advance, and then we're sitting with
Jones donated $20. I agree with RB3. Old Guard was a really fun movie, and I love the world they created. Yeah, some of the music Ted at the action. But that's not unusual. Terry's no real danger Jaws if the Jaws theme isn't play G, and that's not seen as a bad THG.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, I still haven't finished it yet. It's like everything that I start. It's like
he's gonna compare that to the Jaws theme. Okay.
Oh, same point. Okay. Same point. My favorite part of the chat, seeing Julie Sheridan in there. She said, "There's a Game of Thrones Monopoly game for sale."
So. Good enough. 2020. Good
enough. No.
After all production shut down, that's actually the Game of Thrones spinoff is just the Monopoly, and it's going to take just as long.
Hey, nobody wants us to talk about this.
Wait, I know for Rachel Cushing, we wanted to go back to Game of Thrones, which I adore because I adore her. But we were talking about something that I had something to say about. What were we just talking about?
HBO Max putting some of these blockbusters on there.
Yeah, can I talk about that for a second?
Please.
Yeah.
All right, going back to the HBO Max thing then. I feel like, number one, obviously, because we're mentioning it so much on the show today, that nobody knew that fucking COVID was coming. So they had a game plan, but COVID was like, no, we're going to stick the hog in you, and you can't go through with your game plan as you're getting fucked in the bum. So they would not let them do their friends' reunion to launch with. They wouldn't let them do the things that they were trying to do. And by they, I mean COVID, because they couldn't do it. So we can't really be pissed at HBO Max. They could have delayed their launch, but they didn't. Now, at the same time, I don't understand how, I'm a massive Warner Brothers person, but I don't understand how you think it's a good idea to launch HBO Max when you have HBO, HBO Go, HBO Now, DC Universe. Like, how could you think that launching another streaming service and just calling it Max and not thinking people are going to be confused by that is going to work? Who's in that room that decides, yeah, we know we don't have the other shit totally figured out, but Max, like, that's what we have to go with. And I really think that is 50% of their issues. 50% of this was COVID boned them, and 50% of this was, why did you guys do this? Why did you do it?
$20. Tenet on HBO Max is not going to happen, and I don't want it to. Too big loss of dollar, and Nolan made it for the big screen. I'm willing to wait to watch safely in cinemas.
I'm with you.
Keep up the great work, everyone. Rockstars for the win.
I agree with you 100%. I think that as much as, taking I get to see it at my house, great, I'll watch it. I want to wait. I don't care if it's at the end of 2021. I want to see a Nolan movie in the theater.
I agree.
Just certain movies that, like, there's other movies, like, I didn't need, I loved Palm Springs. Didn't need to see that movie in the theater.
No, it was so cute.
Really liked King of Staten Island. Didn't need to see that in the theater. Even the one that the Charlize Theron movie we were just talking about.
Old Guard.
I just started watching that movie. It's like, I don't need to see that in the theater. There's certain movies I don't need to see. There's certain movies that everybody wants to see in the theater. or there are certain people who want to see everything in the theater, but I'm not one of those people. But there's certain tenant. Yeah, go ahead, Winston.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I feel like the general consensus is that if it's heavy on spectacle, so if it is an Endgame, if it is a Tenet, if it is anything like that, you want to see it in theaters. Like for me, Into the Spider-Verse, I saw that in 3D. It looked like an actual comic book come to life. That's the kind of shit that you want to see. Versus, like you said, if it's more character driven.
At 916 donated $20. Harry Potter is leaving HBO Max. They think it's going to Peacock, and also HBO Max and Peacock don't allow Roku and Fire Stick still. It's almost like they are just passing content around and seeing what people want more.
It's a battle for all this.
Totally.
You look at all the stuff that's still on Netflix that's now popping up on Disney. Like Solo finally just showed up on Disney because
Imagine a Brick donated $20. Roxy is killing me today. She needs to be cutting promos today. She's bringing that fire. Wear a mask and stop touching it and make sure it covers your good for nothing nose.
It's true.
It's true.
Whose nose is good for nothing? Mine?
Everybody's talking about everybody's nose in general. It's a general thing.
Why do you think you have toenails?
What's that?
I'm just wondering.
Who's
What
Thinking about this a lot recently. What's a good for nothing nose? You know what's good for nothing? My toenails.
Well, except protecting that end of your toe.
But if they weren't there, why would it need protection? Like, does this part of my arm need protection?
Okay.
I stumped you guys.
That's good.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
Thank
man.
you, RB3.
Yeah.
That was a good point. Thank you.
Daddy, it's me. Daddy's having trouble.
So that you could be fancy. That's why. Nails done, hair done, everything did, Roxy.
It's
that's
me, Daddy.
Oh, here we go.
You were doing
God
so
damn
good
it.
today.
God damn it.
Me, Daddy.
You ever heard my remix to that song?
No.
Patty boy, it's me. Daddy's having trouble. Patty boy, it's me. Daddy's having trouble. Patty boy, it's me. Patty.
There you go. You like that song?
I really liked that. How did you do that?
The soundboard.
Can you send that to me?
Did I send that to you? I mean, just clip this part out of the fucking show.
No, I want to listen to it.
Yeah, and just clip it.
Can you just send it to me?
Sure, here it is.
I'm making my ringtone.
That sound effect was perfect for you doing that too.
Actual airdrop.
Yeah, Patty Boy, it's me. I don't know what the hell else is going on, but there's a lot of it.
Well, someone said like Harry Potter's leaving HBO Max. They're getting Birds of Prey and The Dark Knight. So I do want to talk about that. Because
Harley Quinn and Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
as well.
and Harley Quinn. Is it Harley Quinn or is it Birds of Prey?
Both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
I need to watch Harley Quinn. I know I keep saying that.
Yeah,
but it seems like HBO Max, like the stuff they promised.
Cat 916 donated $20. But they all wanted to complete in streaming and be the top dog. I don't see how they can with these soft opens. People want all the bells and whistles right out the gate, so yeah, I know it's contract stuff too, but still doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but enough of the movie talk. Let's get back to the toenails.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody schmobot and explain that to us.
That is what
'cause
I'm saying.
Roxy stumped us on that one.
Yep, I got you all.
Toenails.
Anyway, go ahead, Ben. Finish. So I think that Harry Potter, depending on where it look, like I said, there's so many different deals going on between all these different streaming services of how long you get a certain property and this. Now everybody has their own thing, so you got to lock it down. Like Disney Plus. By the way, you know what is going to? It was going to crush already. But you know what's really going to crush now is the Mandalorian season 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is like the only thing out there that is still like that was able to finish production and edit and has hype on it. That thing is going to murder when it hits because people are already hyped up about
Huge.
it, and we're still going to not be back to normal at that point. It's going to debut in October. Holy crap! That and I can't remember. Did you guys talk about it a couple of days ago? I think when I think it was Giancarlo Esposito who had said that Favreau's already writing season 3.
I think we touched on it a little bit, and it was more about him wanting to be an MCU villain. But then we mentioned that he had talked about season 3.
That's what I mean. Anything? Are you guys pretty excited about about the fact that he's doing this?
Yeah, I think
he's more involved in season 2 as like the main antagonist, because it was very like a serial almost, like he goes and does this, he goes and does this.
Right.
If it goes like to a more mainline story with Giancarlo Esposito like just always being there to foil his plans, I'd be very excited for that.
I know we're jumping back and forth on these things, but I don't care. Roxy, you said something a while ago on Collider Live, which I completely agree with you, and I don't understand why there hasn't been more talk about it. My guess is I understand now because of all the stuff going on in the news with J.K. Rowling, but why do they not have a Harry Potter series coming to HBO Max? That's what they should be talking about.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that especially with Fantastic Beasts being as big of a bust as it kind of has been, we need to revitalize the Harry Potter franchise, which still has as much love for it as it ever has. People are obsessed with Harry Potter, including myself. I want that series. I want it so bad. I don't know. I don't get really what they're thinking by not moving forward with that.
Playing this game, Hogwarts Mystery or something on her iPad. And it takes place like a few years before like the Harry Potter stuff starts, and it's all in Hogwarts, and it's Quidditch, it's all the stuff that people fell in love with. Fantastic Beasts is so off the realm. I know that the third. I think I'm the only person in the world that really likes those movies, but I understand why everybody doesn't like them. Because
you really liked the most recent one.
I'm one of the few. Like when
really liked or didn't dislike.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay.
I know. It's like one of those movies when people say, "What's a movie that you like that no one else does?" That's the one that I should bring up because I remember turning to my right and seeing Perry. It looked like someone just farted right in her face.
I was sitting right in front of you. I remember. We were all just no, Christian, no.
So mad, and I walked out like I just got back from Disney World. It's like I thought I had fun with the stupid thing, but I understand that it doesn't link.
Big Mo Movie Review donated $20. Question: have any of you seen a movie during this quarantine for the first time and was upset that you took such a long time to finally watch it? For me it was Demolition Man, Malcolm X and Misery. I didn't expect to like Demolition Man as much as I did.
It's a great question. But Arthur, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to say, I think that's what, we're talking about Harry Potter, right? Like, it's not only a Fantastic Beast, it's like the Cursed Child play that they wrote that a lot of people have been dunking over. It is J.K. Rowling's public comments that's been souring a lot of people's taste for it. But I think having a series for HBO Max not only has the opportunity to redeem the franchise, like The Mandalorian is kind of redeeming Star Wars right now. It's not only an opportunity to do that, but also HBO Max just doesn't have the original content that you would think something as prestigious as HBO Max would have. Like if it was if they had just done something as simple as brought all of the DC universe shows over to HBO Max immediately, that would have been a whole plethora of content that geeks and superhero fans could get behind. If they would have done a Harry Potter show, in the same way that Disney Plus had Mandalorian upon launch, that would have brought in all the Potter fans. There's so many. They did a great job marketing and advertising HBO Max in terms of all the characters and all the properties they had, but they never really utilized any of those properties for their original series.
RB, I think because it's always been like this, right? Is that the money is in the movies, right? The money is where you can really, that's been the traditional thinking for a long time, is that's where you make your profit from, and so they're just hell bent on trying to figure out how to make Fantastic Beasts work. They were trying hard because the third one apparently was supposed to take place and really go back to Hogwarts and spend most time in Hogwarts. That's the direction that they should take, honestly. If they're going to try to keep this thing going, they got to stick it back with Hogwarts and get us back to what we fell in love, the magic element.
Chris Cross Jump donated $20.
Hey.
Hagrid walked in on Harry Potter using Manscaped and said, "You're a hairy wizard, badum pish."
Jesus.
True. Cool.
Speaking of what I was going to say, what I would love as an idea for a series, if you want to take it to the next level and you could go completely original with it, why not a war between wizards and muggles, technology versus magic? That shit could be fucking fun as hell. Just come up with something and run with it. I don't know. Fuck.
I'm going to address this guy because he doesn't think that I will. This Ryan Drugemuller says the guy that championed Palpatine's return for ROS, and I stand by it. I think that they murdered how they should have brought him back. It was completely ridiculous the way they brought him back. Do I think that he should still have come back? 100%. And how? Because they never tied in the Plagueis angle. They never tied in the fact that Plagueis taught him how to cheat death. They just ignored that from the prequels altogether. It was right there. It was right there. And that's why I thought what they were going to do and how they were going to tie it back and how they actually showed they were going to show more of the flashback of how he was able to cheat death. That's why I thought it worked. So did I champion it? 100%. If they went back to that side, would I do it again? Yes, motherfucker. Anyway, going back to this, I think that is, I don't know. I think that there's a lot that they could do. I agree with RB3. They should have led with their big IP, and they didn't.
Why not do what Disney Plus did with Hamilton with Cursed Child? I mean, they could literally put
or Wicked with Wizard of Oz. Like,
there's so many things they could do there. And then yes, I agree also, Kristian, with you agreeing with RB3. And I think that they've put themselves in a little bit of a predicament because number one, Ezra Miller is strangling women and taking them to the ground. So are we going to address that? Number two, the Johnny Depp's Amber Heard stuff has gotten so hard to pay attention to or watch.
God.
It's like icky to even talk about. I feel like.
But wait, I gotta find John Horowitz, who is the one of the creators of a friend of the show and one of the creators of Cobra Kai. His tweet on Amber Heard and Johnny Depp killed me the other day. Roxy, finish what you're gonna say, and I'm. This.
So there's those two, and then number three, like RB3 just alluded to, I mean, J.K. Rowling is born with foot and mouth syndrome, and apparently just like cannot get out of her own way and is transphobic. So I mean, what they have put themselves in a position where if they want to move forward with Fantastic Beasts, those things are there, and they're just gonna have to like have their audience watch anyway. Or they could do a bomb-ass series that has nothing to do with any of them and go back to a time prior to any of this in which people just loved Harry Potter and want to see people play Quidditch or be in high school or learn magic and shit. Like, there's so many things that we want to see that don't have to do with trying to watch people who have these things going on that are so icky and unsorted that it's like, I'm trying to watch as a fan, but also can somebody please tell us what Ezra Miller was doing? Can somebody please fucking address it?
I would love to know.
Fucking address it. Or at least come forward and be like, we're never going to address this. We're actually never going to explain what happened here. Like, say something. You can't just, what? Like, so I'm just supposed to watch you as the Flash, or I'm just supposed to watch you in Fantastic Beasts after we watch you strangle somebody? Could somebody fucking say something?
I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Like, I just know that like it's all that footage, and they still don't know. No one has talked about it.
It's the money. It's the money we're just talking about. It's the money and the power.
Well, it's like they know the news cycle moves so fast. Like, the news cycle moves so fast, people thought coronavirus was over because protests were happening. Mm-hmm. And so that's why everything opened back up.
This is what I told my wife when all that was going down, because when protests happen and, the very unfortunate and just horrible and unnecessary death of George Floyd, when all that went down and the coverage was rightfully so on the protests and everything, what happened during all of that, the news networks are run like television networks with, that's not the big story anymore. So coronavirus we're not going to feature that at all. It's not going to be. It was 24/7 just on everything else going on, and like you said, Ben, it just kind of disappeared. So people are like, oh, okay, they're not talking about that anymore, so I guess it's okay, and it wasn't. It is one of the biggest problems that we have with news networks in general. All the news networks are just there for ratings. They're there for ratings. They're there. I mean, I'm not going to tell you there's not good people who are trying to do good things on news. There is, but let's also not forget that it is just for ratings. They want to stay on. They want to see who's doing the most. If they I'm going to bash this person because I know it means you're going to watch me, or I'm going to say this because you're going to watch me. It's what they do, and the fact that they should have been reporting equally on every.
All Might donated $20. Ghost of Tsushima is so damn amazing and kick-loving gorgeous. Can't stop playing and never used photo mode so much in a game before, plus all the combat makes this a weeaboo wet dream. All those adjectives from the first sentence apply to Roxy as well.
You love this, Ben?
I really do. I'm not even like I've famously came out and said I didn't like Red Dead Redemption because I'm not a big open world person. I've really enjoyed this game. It is gorgeous. I played a little bit of the Kurosawa mode and I like it, but the colors of this game really need to be seen as well. And like the main story is like intense, and then all the side missions are a lot of fun too. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I gotta play it, man. It's the one. There's a few games that I always say that I need to. I have to come out of the dungeon and try to play a few of the games, and that's one of them. I really need to. This is it. I gotta find. Okay, I think that I found it. Did I find it?
Found the tweet?
Yeah, he might have deleted it. Damn it.
Well, Ben, before you get to that, Ben, would you agree with me that the Giuseppe Stromboli story is something that we need to hear more about?
Absolutely. That's the Harry Potter series I want to hear is Giuseppe Stromboli in the case of the missing meatball.
Damn it.
Where did it go?
No.
Where did it go?
Where that tweet so good. Oh, so
and
good.
Hagrid having fibromyalgia.
Jesus.
I was gonna say when that person sent in the Schmobot, they said Manscaped, like Harry should use Manscaped. It was a perfect time to say Harry could use Harry's.
Yeah.
Right.
Harry's could use Harry's. He should, what a perfect ambassador he would be for Harry's razors, huh? You just like magically make it appear whenever you want, send it to your house. I mean, that'd be some good shit from Harry Potter.
The thing is, I think that like the first series of Harry Potter movies really eased into like the darkness of like how serious it got, like how the books do. Like every year it gets more and more serious. I think like J.K. Rowling just kind of thought that everyone was still on board with the Fantastic Beasts one, and that first movie opens up with Grindelwald murdering a bunch of people, and then you go from like this. I remember rewatching it for studying for Inner Geekdom, and there's a scene where like they capture that a rumphant, like the rhino thing on the lake, and there's like this funny lighthearted music and it's goofy, and literally the next scene is Ezra Miller getting beaten like from like his mom. I was like, what is the tone of this film?
And I stand by this. The biggest problem that movie had was the fact that the Harry Potter movies were really great books that were adapted. Even
how are we gonna not address what's going on?
But the one more.
Bojack's donated $20. Lionsgate doesn't have a streaming service, but do you think people in a streaming service would be interested in a Hunger Games show?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, but I don't. Every studio shouldn't just start a streaming service like that. That's going to become a problem. Like, and I think that's why we're seeing HBO Max fall. We're seeing CBS Peacock. All Access fall. We're seeing Peacock fall. Like, literally, it's because like you're trying to do this thing where you have you're putting all of your content on one service. Meanwhile, you still have all these TV deals and all these other contracts that are not allowing you to even put everything on there. Like, it's stupid. Just like
stupid. Enough IP to do it, and it's like Disney. Remember, Disney struggled at the top to get the stuff out. Now they're starting. Like, there's a lot of great movies on Disney Plus right now, and there's a lot of great series and stuff. It's great for kids, and it works out. But like these other, you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan, and Disney didn't have a great plan when they launched, but they're starting, because they at least launched with The Mandalorian, and now they're pushing back even their Marvel series. I think that because they had a decent year this year with the stuff that they have, and because they'll have season 2 on Mandalorian, that by the time they do get their other series, they'll be in good shape. But these other series, I think that they do need to have other things in place for sure. But what was I saying before Roxy cut me off?
You were looking for a tweet.
I didn't cut you off. It was loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Like the lawnmower cut you off. Woo.
Say something about
right.
Dun.
I can't remember what it was.
It was about Fantastic Beasts.
Oh well.
Harry Potter.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Roxy. So the novels of the books of Harry Potter were so detailed and they were so layered that you had enough to really take out of all the core stuff that people loved and turn it into a script. And the thing that they were upset about with the movies was, that wasn't in there. I wish that was in there. There was no material that Fantastic Beasts. It was just screenplays that she wrote. And it wasn't as layered, and they felt hollow. I mean, and I'm saying this from someone who likes the movies. They feel hollow. Plus the fact that, Newt Fuckface? What's his name again?
Newt Gingrich?
That is his name.
Newt Scamander.
Eddie Redmayne?
Youth Commander.
Get what I mean, but he's not. He shouldn't be the main character. He's too much of a fucking. He's like every time. He's just so odd. I don't know.
He's too much of a loser. What a loser! How can they make a movie about a loser?
Well, even that, like you have Jacob and Queenie.
RB3.
You have Jacob and Queenie, and then in the second one, you ruin them. Like you have these two amazing people in the first one, then you ruin them.
Because Dan Fogler was so good in the first movie. He was everything. Everything I was worried about what they were gonna do with them in the first movie. They did with them in the second movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. Last thing is I don't know if you guys know this, but John Boyega couldn't give a shit to be in Star Wars. Did you hear someone asked him about it, or he responded on his Instagram, and they asked him would he return, and he's like, nah, I'm good, dude. I did that. I'm out of here. I think, and I don't know, maybe he will say it on like a podcast or something too. I just think that he was stung by the experience, man. I think that
Then Variety put out that article that was like he doesn't want to return to Star Wars, and he was like, isn't that what happens when you're
isn't that what people do when a role is done, or it's not that deep?
I think it's a little bit of that. I think that's a good thing to fall on. But I also think, but this is also a guy who you have to forget. You don't forget he was a hardcore. He was the biggest Star Wars fan out of everyone that was involved. Like if you have Oscar Isaac that says that, I mean, yeah, that's normally what they say in general too. And I don't think that it's untrue, but I think that I think that he was soured by the experience. I think he was soured in the fact that he was a super excited fan, and the first thing when he's announced, people are going off that he's a black stormtrooper, and that shouldn't be real. How the fuck do you know if they had black stormtroopers or not, you idiot? It's a different galaxy, you know? It's like the fact that like that's the first thing he's introduced to being in this. People talking about his character, and then he's
underwritten.
He's vocal that he didn't like Last Jedi, and he says it, and he gets thrown under the coals for that one. He talked about it, even in that clip when he's so good. He's so good at throwing these little shots and still showing his personality. Like, oh, he's just goofing around. Like that whole stupid scene when he's like, oh, they fly now. He's like, yeah, they've been. And in an interview when he watched the clip back, he's like, they've been kind of flying since the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
He knows it. He's probably. If those movies were great, if they were great, and the fan reaction had been great, I guarantee he's like, oh, I'm open for it. Let's see what happens.
I feel like there's the other thing at work here is if I remember correctly, didn't Harrison Ford say at the end of the original trilogy, fuck this, I'm done? Like he'd like the fame, obviously, but didn't he say he was done?
He wanted to be killed in Empire Strikes Back, but he's not a sci-fi geek.
No, I agree with you. I think that that's an extra layer, is that if you feel like something you loved was disrespected or you were disrespected, you're like, I'm out of here.
I don't think Harrison Ford ever felt disrespected. Harrison Ford thought he thought the character ran his course, and Harrison Ford wanted to be killed off in Empire Strikes Back. They didn't do it for him. He wanted to be killed in Return of the Jedi, and he also was like, fine. That's why they finally gave it to him in Force Awakens. But he's never. But I remember talking. He used to Boyega used to watch Jedi Council. Boyega used to he's a big Star Wars guy. He would really lock in, and it's the same thing. I mean, not comparing myself to obviously very different layers, but it's one of the reasons why I like to talk about it in this capacity more so than I used to love doing a weekly show and being able to lock in and talk about all things Star Wars. I looked forward to it. I got to a point where I hated it. I got to a point where I didn't like it. I didn't want to fight with people about what I liked or what I didn't like.
Yeah.
A small scale, as opposed to a dude that's in the movies and has to deal. And then he sees his fellow people that he worked with. Like you look what happened to
Kelly Marie Tran,
and he's got to look at that.
Oh gosh.
I'm out because
Mark_Jason_Ali donated $20. Hi crew, welcome back Christian. Great expo at the weekend. Great to see you, Roxy. Catch you later too on your show. Lionsgate already have a streaming service. It stars Play. Doom Patrol is on it. I watched Truman Show at the weekend. Great to see it again.
So good.
Great. Did you guys rewatch anything? I know that was a question that kind of came up before. Not maybe watch it for the first time, but did you rewatch anything? I started watching Groundhog Day last night again.
Oh, nice.
Clueless. I told you about it.
Yeah, that's right. You did tell me about
I watched Sleepy Hollow the other night. I really like that movie.
Yeah. I watched Remember the Titans last night.
Nice.
Oh, left side. Cool.
I've been rewatching.
Wow, I just left her hanging.
Sorry.
What the fuck was that, RB3?
I didn't know how to respond.
Strong side. Did you watch or you didn't?
I watched, but I'm not gonna quote the thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait, what did I do?
Just said, "Oh, listen."
What did I do to you?
No, nothing. It's not you. It's just, I don't know. I didn't know the quote.
I've been watching what's it called? The
I'm gonna go hug myself.
The Fassbender McAvoy X-Men movies. I've been rewatching those.
Oh, nice.
Class is still my favorite. Still my favorite X-Men movie all time.
But Days of Future Past, I have a newfound respect for it. I mean, First Class I think is the best of all of those, but Days of Future Past, like the way that they really married like those
Big
two
Mo
universes
Movie
together
Review
was
donated
amazing.
$20. Harloff, I know you love scores, so you should give the score of The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 by Gustavo Santaolalla a shot. BTW, do any of you have a favorite video game score? Also, you guys never answered my question from before, LOL.
What was it? What was the question?
I'm guessing it was the what movie have you watched for the first time? In
Gross Point Blank.
Oh, and did you love it? It's one of my favorite movies. If you did,
Obsessed. Loved it.
So good.
Loved it. It was amazing. It's so cute. I really liked it. And in days to come, it sat with me even better. Loved that.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with her too, though. So because I'm obviously a Good Will Hunting stan.
I'm gonna watch the Lord of the Rings movies for the first time. I've seen Return of the King, but I haven't seen the first two.
Dude, I don't know if you're able to do it, time wise, but if you, I just rewatched them all with my family, and extended version's the way to go.
Whew.
I mean, it really is though, Winston. Like, it's not. It's so much better. I cannot tell you how much they add to that movie.
I'll probably do it because like I'm helping Chandru train anyway, so it's not a bad thing. But that's a lot of movie.
Next year, those are all the extended versions are going to be. They're going to be in the Inner Geekdom, and someone asked me about the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut will also be in the Inner Geekdom next year. So there's a lot of things. And by the way, speaking of just switching, we're going to go to the questions here. Streamlabs.com/theschmodown. Ben's going to start reading off these questions, and make sure anything that you want to talk about, anything we talked about thus far, any questions that you had. Yesterday I don't know how many of you guys have joined the Facebook group, the Schmodown Facebook group, but you should. And I will say this, I know that there a couple, like a month or two ago, there was questions about, the Facebook group in general. There was a lot of things that we addressed, and I think it is unfair to generalize that Facebook group. Like I've seen people say like, oh, that Facebook group is toxic. No, it is not. The Facebook group itself is not at all, because I think that takes away from what Kristen and Jen Kemp and all the wonderful admins do over there. They make sure that it's a great experience, and sometimes things slip and they have to delete comments, but the overall atmosphere is actually really good in that group, and they have there's a lot of passionate people in there, there's a lot of good people in there, and the people that certainly say comments like any other group, they are monitored, and Kristen Smith does an incredible job monitoring it. I think it takes away from what she does by saying that group itself is not a good group, because it is. She puts in a lot of effort with all of her admins, and they really work hard, and it's a great place for discussion.
Stud donated $20. RB3. Love your podcast and how informative you are with filmmaking process. Would love to talk cinema with you one day, buddy.
Thank you, absolutely. Yeah, we had a great episode this week where we talked about film school. So if you're looking into film school and want to get a perspective on it, be sure to listen to the meaning of.
Yes, please do that. But one of the reasons I bring up the Facebook group, I did a live stream yesterday because I had talked about the overall how the remaining point system is going to work for the rest of the season. When I sent out an email to the managers, I don't know, about a month ago, when I said we're doing when we're going to do the tournament, I said that because of the shortage of singles and teams matches, that the teams and singles tournament would both be 3 points apiece, 4 points should there be a knockout. And then there's going to be also the other thing would be the Inner Geekdom, not Inner Geekdom, but like the matches themselves, the John Roca versus Irwin match, still 2 points. The play-in matches, 2 points. with a knockout being 3 points. Same thing. The only thing that we changed up, because we didn't want to retroactively change title matches, that wouldn't be fair to like Merle and Bateman, who played earlier this year. But like the spectacular matches, we always wanted to do something kind of bigger. The spectacular matches are going to be worth 5 points, with a TKO or KO being 6 points. So most people were like, yeah, that works out. It's fine. And I talked to Kalinowski about it. Kalinowski just had problems with the fact that like he didn't know because how come Inner Geekdom wasn't worth more inside of tournaments, because the answer to that is that Inner Geekdom normally, in Inner Geekdom we probably get, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 matches per season. In Inner Geekdom we've already had like 13 or 14, and we're going to have a few more. With Spectacular. Star Wars, we usually get 3 Star Wars matches a year. We've already had 7 or 8, and we're probably going to have we'll have one more in Spectacular. And now singles was cut and teams were cut. The teams were only having 8 teams in the tournament. 7 matches for that tournament, plus a few more, the little mini tournament we had. So there were teams and singles were cut dramatically. So we made sure that we gave teams like the Rockstars and Swag and people an opportunity to actually keep up and play. So, Roxy, you'd heard about all this stuff early as a manager. What's your overall thoughts on the remainder of the season?
Well, that's kind of my thing still is like, and you're not going to be happy with me for saying this, Kristian, but I still don't understand when there's such disparity in teams playing different amount of matches. Like, there's just so I will have to see how it's going to line up. But I'm not even talking about tournament matches, but some teams have played so many more matches than other teams.
Yeah, but the reason why that is because we're a different. This league will never be run like baseball or football, where teams get equal matches. It'll never happen because.
To me, that's just really challenging. You asked my thoughts, so I'm giving my thoughts.
I understand. It's a fair question a lot of people ask, and I'm addressing it in the fact that the way that you have to look at it is the reason why we're built on the system we're built on, it's about winning and losing. So that's the whole thing about drafting, is the fact that in football and baseball and basketball, you get equal amount of games to play, but it doesn't. It's like when you win in this, it means you're guaranteed more matches. If you lose, you're going to play less matches. It's just the way it's.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that system, but
do it otherwise. There's no way to do it otherwise. You have to be able to like win or lose, because there's a ranking system, and with the champions, it's a different game.
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, I think that COVID got in the way of being able to play more matches. So, like, I think that even if you lose and you play the losers match, then the winners play the winners match. Like, it should be the same amount of matches. Because otherwise, I don't know how you legitimately, because like losing the first 2 games of the year meant then that I was fucked.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's what tournament season and everything happens. Like you had, but like I said, if you had inside of that, if like look at corruption. Corruption was in last place. They structured out.
There's definitely ways to do it, but if you knew going into it, and Shannon's been awesome, and I really respect a lot of the moves she's made, even though she's a total piece of crap. She, you had to kind of luck out a little bit based on what you decided to do, Kristian, in terms of what tournaments we were having before people traded. Like, moves were made after we already had deadlines, so it just kind of is luck of the draw at some point. No excuses. Everybody has different things that they're doing. It's just challenging when we're not playing the same amount of matches. We don't know, because of COVID, what kind of things we were doing that year.
Well, that's unfortunately the way it's always going to be, because like the way, like that's why I made it clear for the draft, like how important the draft is, because you got to be able to draft. Like if your players win, you get more opportunities to play, and and that's why the rookies are so big. You look at like the Real Rejects. The Real Rejects kept the quirky mercs in it, and that was what's such a big disadvantage of having both Bibiani and the Kid in the same triple threat match, which I think was a colossal error on their point to do that, because it basically, it's strategy. And by putting those 2 in there, and having them both, and they both lost against Dan, it puts them on the sideline, because it
totally.
Yeah, so it's
to Jay-Z in here, who's saying Kristian said this a long time ago. What's wrong with people? I'm not claiming this is the first time I've heard this. You asked my thoughts, so I was just giving my opinion on the situation.
Is that's not going to change like that? It just can't, from the way that it's set up. Like equal, and plus the fact we simply don't have. It's not going to change right now, because we don't have the staff for that to do like the.
That's the truth. That's the truth. How do you do more matches and make it more even? You have more infrastructure, which, like, as we get bigger, we will.
Yes, and the idea, Roxy, to say that it'll never happen is not fair. But like the fact, like if we, ideally, if this channel tomorrow had a million subscribers and hundreds of thousands of people were watching each matches, then we would have to do more matches and we'd have to equal out. But right now, the way that the system is, that's the way it has to run. So to kind of go back a little bit more on what you were to your point, Roxy, is that if I had 7 editors and I had more producers and we had big advertisers and we had all this stuff, 100% we could probably come up with a different system. The way it is right now, it can't change.
Totally. I hear you.
Winston, everything that's going on.
Charlie Brown donated $20.
Oh, Charlie Brown.
Ace has played more Star Wars matches than any other player, and I don't think anyone would say that it's unfair. My sympathy is towards the champions. They get limited matches and could end up with no points for their faction if they don't win.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the way that the structure is built, because like where Roxy and like Sam and those and people like that are, Roxy and Sam are, and not to say the other managers aren't, but they are hardcore sports fans.
Yeah.
And so what they see inside of, and I understand this because I am too, what they see is like when you look
Big
at like
Movie Review donated $20. I've been binging the Schmodown and I got to say I have been loving every minute of it. Didn't think I would enjoy the virtual format. My favorite faction is definitely Team Swag. Winston, you are one hell of a manager and Ace's comeback player of the year.
Yeah, Roku was being silly yesterday.
Yeah, but look,
what did Roka say yesterday? Wait a minute.
Hold it for a second. But just to go back on it, because the thing is, the way that because traditional sports, we are not. And our system is going to be based on whether you win or lose. That's how you're going to get matches. It's never going to be a balanced thing because of that reason of someone like an Ace Cabrera. Because if Ace Cabrera doesn't do what he does inside of that tournament, as great as a manager as Winston has been, he wouldn't be in the position that he's in right now had it not been for Ace.
You're talking tournaments, though. I'm talking non-tournaments, because usually, and again, COVID is the one that fucked a lot of this up, but you can have the same amount of matches outside of the tournaments because it's the regular season. In regular season play, everybody should have the same amount of, all factions should have the same amount of matches. That's what I believe.
Not taking into consideration rankings and stuff too, because if you did that with everybody who's on, this is a longer conversation, but it's just there's just no way to do it with the amount of rankings and matches right now. It's impossible. You've got to. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the only thing that I can see that working, if you want to go with the mindset of every player gets a shot, but then if they blow it, if they lose, then there's no guarantee that they get to come back. That to me is the difference if you're talking outside of tournament play.
Yeah, I mean, that is what we do in the beginning. Like, look at you basically give the rookies an opportunity to stick around, and that's why like Jader goes into the tournament 1-0, and Brittany lost. Clee Wiggins went up against the Barbarian, and the Barbarian was the one who came out on top. So it's a battle of it's in the beginning there. It's not going to be. I don't want it to also be an equal, like everybody gets the same match. It'll be a boring league because as far as matching it up in general with each, like there's certain, this is also about entertainment, and there's certain players that it's more about, it's not the entertainment as much, and there's a lot of factors that go into it, and I think that it just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work if you did it that way, and that's never the way that this league was going to be run. It's about you like, I wanted to make sure that people drafted, like, to make sure like you got those superstars. Okay, I'm drafting these 2 big superstars because I want them to win. Look at the Den. If because it gives an opportunity to someone like Ben Goddard and Silvestrini to really step up, because their faction players, their 2 A-listers, were supposed to be Tom and Paul, and they lost their first match. That could have screwed the Den. The Den could have been screwed, because if Rachel Silvestrini and Goddard lose that match, they're done. They're for a while until tournament season. I like that they have to fight and they got to figure out new people. So, and it's not to say you have to agree with it, but that's just the way that it's gonna go.
Well, I've said this from day one, and everybody knows it's your league, Kristian, and I'm playing in it. Like I don't agree, but
fair.
Who the fuck cares what I think? You know?
Oh, I do. I like, see, but the conversation that we're having, Roxy, I would rather have that on both sides. Like because Mike had a conversation the other day when the league was not represented at all, and he was just saying things on.
Where?
He was on Ben and Andrew's show, and he was talking about the point system, and there was no league representation like when you're here having this conversation with me, then I can tell you kind of my point of view. You don't have to agree with the point of view, but I at least am able to present it. And that point of view was not presented, so that's why I did the Facebook group thing yesterday. Anyway, let's get into the streamlabs.com/the Schmodown. We are going to get to your questions, so please keep them coming and keep the Schmobots coming over at streamlabs.com/the Schmodown.
Kyle Varnador. We're trying to putting a 2-hour limit on movies. This could have negative effect in making studios cut the time down more so they can make more money and sacrifice quality. I personally think skip China release and take the hit.
What is this referring to?
In China,
go ahead, RB3.
Oh yeah, in China they're keeping movies to 2 hours or less in order for their safety regulations for the coronavirus or whatever. So yeah, I guess Tenet was presenting an issue because it was longer than 2 hours, and they were going to cut out some time in it to make it under 2 hours so they could show in the Chinese theaters.
I'm super confused about why a movie being longer would put you more at COVID risk. You're already in the same room with the same people.
I guess a lot of people agree with you.
Yeah, a lot of people agree. I mean, I guess the idea is that like there's more of a chance that somebody could sneeze if there's more time. Like, you know,
right now, are they finding that more people are getting COVID on cross-country flights than mid-country flights?
No idea.
God damn it, RB3. What is the science on it? Answer the fucking question. Bring out some charts.
As an expert scientist at the University of Phoenix, I really came into a clear understanding of the particulars of the coronavirus cases.
All right. Let's
Adrian Bailey. Hi guys, just watched thanks Brett for singing happy birthday to my mom yesterday. Kristian, I hear you're going to be on Outlaw Nation tomorrow. I'll be there myself. Hi RB3, Roxy, and Swag, Drip, Manager of the Year, Winston Marshall. Thanks guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. So, John, that was the thing, is that people ask me to go on their shows all the time, but people always ask me. Most of these people's shows, they're on like five.
Take the Hogwarts donated $20. Does Manscaped or Harry's offer any products for hogs plagues with warts? Now for a more serious discussion, what are the most catchy sitcom theme songs of all time? Gonna go Gilligan's Island, but also gotta mention Little Boxes from Weeds on Showtime.
So good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Fresh Prince by far.
Good one too. But going.
Friends.
Roka had asked me to be on a show, and like in typical Roka fashion, after I did the call to action Schmobates show, he's like, "Oh, you can do someone else's show, but you can't do mine."
Yeah, that's the most Roka text ever.
Wait, had you said you wouldn't do a show?
Well, no, I said I won't do anyone's show if it's like 5, 6 o'clock at night, because I'm with the family at that time. And they call to action and I told him, I said they moved the show to like 3 or 4 o'clock for me so I can do it. And he's like, "Well, I'll do that." I was like, "Well, you should have said that up top." And then so he moved it to like 3 o'clock tomorrow, so I'm able to do it. So like, because even Ben and Andrew had asked me, I really like their show and I want to do, but it's like on Sunday. I'm like, I can't do Sundays. But anyway, I'm gonna be on Roka's show on Wednesday, so please come and check it out.
Yep. Right. And guys, we have 930 people watching and only 365 likes. Let's get to 500 before the end of the show. Always 500.
Pac-Man Wayne donated $20. Hey guys, fun question for Kristian. I'm very disappointed with WWE from this past pay-per-view match, so my question is, how would you do it? Because I see like it's not great, but they still putting on entertaining stuff.
I watched, so my daughter is like a really big Sasha Banks fan, so I wanted to watch. I told her that on Sunday we could watch the Sasha Banks versus Asuka title match. And I'm watching it, and I was like, okay, I like the fact that they have wrestlers now in the crowd to make it a little more hype and people cheering and stuff. That's
Dick Itches donated $20. What? The Schmodown is perfect, and it's perfect because of the two best managers in the league, Shannon and Kaiser. Can't wait to see who becomes the next bad guy. More drama makes more views. Like Roxy and Gucci should be a weekly show.
Roxy and Gucci it is definitely. But anyway, going back to Sasha, and I'm watching this match, and I was like, okay, let's see if she can do this, and they're watching, and it's a good match, and then it ends so stupid with like Bailey ripping off the referee's shirt and putting it on and then counting it out, and it's like I'm like, Bailey is a champion. She would know this wouldn't count. It was so dumb. It's like, just let him have a match. Let him actually fight and have make it seem like the old kind of sport. Make it feel like a sport. You can have the drama behind it. That's what makes wrestling. But it wasn't. It was so. It's always been a soap opera. But when the soap opera takes over the sport, it loses it for me. And it was so dumb at the end. The ending of this match. And I didn't. My daughter was cracking up. She thought it was ridiculous. But so that part of it I liked. But I didn't watch the rest of it. I'm just not invested in it.
Donated $20. I'm a little confused. Kristian, you say that the more the players lose, the chances of getting more matches is slim. So then why is Bonnie Somerville, who has 0 wins, 3 losses, keep getting matches by entering the tournament?
Because Ken Napzok wanted to make sure that he had a female representing his faction. And I think that was awesome for him to do. So
By the way, wait, sorry, unrelated to that, but just because I've been getting a ton of heat for this, I asked Stacy. I asked Stacey Howard to play in the tournament, just to be 100% clear. And I didn't ask her because she is a woman. She is the only other woman on my team besides myself. I asked her because I think she is badass and coming off of an epic match. And I think she would crush. And she really wants to focus on teams. And I know you said that, Kristian, but just to hear it from my mouth, because I've been getting so much heat about this. I tried to play Stacey in this, and right for her prerogative, her focus is elsewhere right now. She's still a total rock star, but I asked her. I did.
Yes, I mean, and so I didn't think it was my place to say. I mean, I said obviously that she didn't want to play, but I didn't to talk about our conversation.
Lawrence Lease donated $20. Shout out to you all. Amazing group of SEN Live hosts. Kristian, you are too obsessed with your new favorite app. Roxy, you're a rock star.
I do love that app. And now, Kate, have you seen Kate's stories?
Oh my God, Kate went off last night.
Going really, really good. So Kate,
so good.
Addicted to it. That app is great.
But why is it $5 a week?
Is it $5 a week?
That's why she's canceling it, because $4.99 a week.
Oh my God, who does it think it is?
It's not a week.
So aggressive.
That's a lot of money to pay to have your identity stolen.
Cacao!
Well, but there's other, I don't know how I got that. Like the Rock one, I was like, holy shit, the way that moves. I did the Rock. I had Arnold Schwarzenegger, De Niro, and I did a couple other ones, but those are the ones that I thought. I mean, the Rock one came out crazy. Did you see that?
Did you see Kate as Angelina Jolie? I was like, I was tripping out.
Yeah.
I got to go back and watch her stuff. I haven't seen it yet.
It's like she put like 40 on her story last night.
Yeah, but I texted her really upset with her because I thought that it was really fucked up that she put Angelina Jolie and Jennifer Aniston back to back. Like, that's rude.
Yeah, for sure. But
Shakes to stir the pot.
But Roxy, real quick, I talked to Roxy on the phone about and said, oh, she's not gonna be in it. She's like, no, I had the conversation and I'm respecting her wishes, but she just doesn't want to do it. She wants to play in teams. And so that was and the tough part that all these managers are going to have is that what teams do you choose? Like Stacey might not be able to play in the teams either because because I would assume you're going to choose the odd couple to play in the teams tournament.
Yeah, I mean, because the problem is if Stacey was on an established team right now, then it would be worth considering. But like even the little hump of teams chemistry, even if you put somebody who's super knowledgeable, like a Jim Vejvoda and a Stacey Howard, who probably would crush together.
Yeah.
I can't risk that they need a match.
Pac-Man Wayne donated $20. I totally agree. I feel like WWE should do more sports side than entertainment without the fans. None, and I mean none of the storylines are working. Could that work? I'm 5 seconds away from not being WWE Network no more.
Yeah, it's just not. I'm gonna cancel it myself because it's not entertaining anymore. It's like the ending was so dumb on that match. It's like, why did they do that? And it's like, and then Ed Haskell says now that they announced on Raw that now they're doing another match with if there's any interference. It's like, who cares? It's like, just give me it's a pay-per-view event on the WWE Network. Make it like a big pay-per-view event, like this big title match. It was so stupid. It's like the way that I was looking at it was like, if I'm a first-time viewer of WWE ever, and that's the first thing I see, you're out. you're out. It's like that's a really bad. The storytelling is just bad right now. It's just really. I haven't watched AEW. I hear great things about AEW. From what I tuned in on AEW, it seems like more old school stuff, and Jericho and company over there is crushing. From what I heard, I know that like Silvestrini and PJ Campbell like swear by it. But
speaking of Jericho, how have you not said one thing to me?
About what?
About Jericho. I haven't been asked on. Backstage, I haven't been talked to. You. Nobody's asked me anything about Jericho.
Because it's not time yet. We're getting hyped. We're getting hyped to the match. We just announced it. What I will say is that Roxy, being the rock star that she is, and I have talked about this, that Roxy was able to make that go down with Jericho. Coy was able to make it happen with Smith, and we got ourselves the biggest match in Schmodown history. That happens on August 27th. On the undercard will be Guy versus Bateman 2. So it's massive. If you guys didn't know, it's going to be on this channel, youtube.com/the Schmodown. So if you're listening on audio and you want to make sure that you check that match out, we're going to be giving it here to all of you. And then once again, make sure that if you didn't know this, John Roca, Ethan Irwin on the undercard, you get Deep 13 versus Final Exam. So Winston once again. And that's going to be, you can get that. $10 patrons will get that. The exhibition match that was announced for this month, the two idiots, Kaiser and Dagnino, will be going up against each other in 80s action movies. So that's exclusive to Patreon. So check that out. All right, anything else going on? And how many more questions we got here?
Quite a few.
Right, let's try to go through these.
Okay. Well, I scrolled to say quite a few, and then I lost the spot. Ryan White, Snowpiercer on TNT. I love the movie, so I was curious about the series and how it would be different. Unfortunately, there was not enough for me to keep watching future seasons, and I don't care about the subplots they added. Daveed Diggs and Jennifer Connelly were definitely the best parts. Did anyone else watch? Thoughts? Hi, Roxy.
I did watch. I have a review on Geeks of Color.
Donated $20. Kate literally had me crying last night. Her deep fakes were golden. By the way, I love Roxy. She's the best and doesn't get the credit she deserves as a manager, in my opinion.
Roxy's a great manager. Roxy is one of the, and I can tell you, and she says it, but I think that it also should come from me. Also, she loves this thing. She
love it so much.
And she's so in bed. I love when we have conversations about it. Like, I was going through some stuff, like a couple, probably like a month or two or whatever it was, and Roxy wrote me a message about Schmodown, and I said, thank you for just writing me a message about Schmodown. So I mean, so we were just talking about Schmodown in general and going over like certain different things, and she's so invested. Not to say that like Winston and everybody else isn't, but it just Roxy has Roxy and I have been buddies for a while. But the fact that I remember when she first started coming around, and then she started really kind of grasp onto it. Roxy, do you know that we just posted on the Schmodown Clips channel when Mike
with the Mike one? I saw you posted it, but then I tried to tune in, but you weren't live yet. What? So you went and did a watch along with it?
Yeah. So Frank Janish has been updating this channel, the Schmodown Clips channel. It's so good. It's addicting. It is addicting, the Schmodown Clips channel, and Frank's been putting all these clips in. And one of the ones is he put where Kalinowski turned heel, and it's that whole thing that he did. It's incredible. So you guys should check that out. I'm going to post it in the description right now. I don't think we're going to get there this month, but if we get there by this month, 10,000 views, 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to release the Roca doc. If not, then I'll move it till next week. Next month. But here it is. It's the channel's in there right now, but it's great. Check it out. All right, Ben, what's next?
Khal Drogo, Gradak Shi Ana Gama Yir Govak. I'm sure that was in Horse Lord. RB4, topic for later half of the show should be movie theories. The few that I heard on the show yesterday were awesome. That was true. We did have some good movie theories. That was pretty fun.
So,
RB4.
RB4 is funny. RB3, would you name your would you produce the next RB? Would you make RB4? Are you gonna?
I don't know about that, man. I don't know. It gets a little too much like Queen of England or Prince Charming the 11th. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a little too close to that.
George Foreman's got what, 87 kids named George?
Yeah, exactly.
Charming the 11th. Whoa. Where are you at?
Sorry, RB3. You do have to name your kid now Prince Charming the 11th.
That's a better name.
Sloppy shit lips. If you had to choose a movie universe to live in, which would you choose? Star Wars, Harry Potter, Star Trek, or Lord of the Rings? What's up, Roxy?
Star Wars.
Harry Potter's got good food.
Yeah.
It's got to be Harry Potter.
I think I gotta go Harry Potter as well.
Harry Potter on that one.
Yep.
Y'all
then they're not in
thinking
space.
y'all are also thinking two inside the box just because Harry Potter is kind of tied to our world as is. I'm ready to just get the F out of here.
I like Star Trek though. I like Star
I
Trek.
want to be
Have you
magic.
seen how like 99% of the Star Wars world lives though, like paycheck to paycheck, like in poverty and stuff, unless you're like balling out on Coruscant?
But
I mean,
in Harry Potter, you're not guaranteed to know magic. You'd be some asshole walking around the street as everyone.
Exactly, and then
I
you can
already know magic.
Cool. And then in
Wingardium
Star Wars, you can literally be
Leviosa.
this asshole that stays in one planet your entire life. Just because you can space travel doesn't mean you are.
True. It depends on what I was given.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
That's tough.
Hitman Hudson. So far this season, Alex Damon is Player of the Year. Also, Steph Sabra for Mayor of Los Angeles.
Yes, love that comment. She's the best.
who?
Zemicki.
Quick, Damon is playing up against Kalinowski. It airs on Friday. It's a big match that I want to talk to Roxy about.
Hell yeah.
It's a massive match. Damon could be playing. I'm not going to spoil the winner of Barbarian and Chance. That's up on Patreon now. If you want to watch it, that will also air on this channel on Thursday. But you know, it's a good point. Damon is right now 3-0 in Inner Geekdom.
He is the best. I mean, I no manager could ask for a better player, because what we were talking about earlier with the champions not being able to get their points right now, that's true. That as a Star Wars player, Damon can't do jack shit for me right now.
Yeah,
So he was like, okay, here I am. I want to be an IG. And then on top of that, I don't know if I said this to you, Kristian. I think to you, but I don't know if the public knows. He texted me and was like, throw me in singles. I want to be in the tournament. Like he wants to get as many points for the team as possible. Anywhere I want to put him, he would go. He is so dedicated. He is always texting me, trying to figure out more resources, how to study better, partnering with people. Like I am so obsessed with this guy. I don't ever want to live my life without him.
Yeah, he's
like ever. I love him.
really great. Let me ask you this real quick before you jump to this. This is a poll in the Facebook group right now. If you're voting today, who is heel of the year? I'll give you the not in any order out of these people who's in the lead. Okay, so you got Laura Kelly, Snyder, Shannon, Hannah, or Kalinowski. Who's in the lead?
I gotta say Laura Kelly.
I'd have to say Shannon. But go
yeah,
ahead,
maybe
Ben.
after the week that Shannon had, I'd say Shannon. But after those Laura Kelly promos,
They're not. Sorry, Ben. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Either way, it's corruption. It's corruption that's gonna win heel of the year for sure.
Right, Shannon right now. Excuse me. 227 votes.
I think Shannon.
I feel like Shannon, just if you take from the standpoint that from the start she broke up the wild berries and hasn't stopped since. I think where Laura's promos were phenomenal, and I thought she did an amazing job, but that's where you take into consideration a season of being a heel versus like a couple matches, you know?
Well, so that Shannon right now is in the lead with 220 votes. The Who Would Win Podcast of the Year right now, Call to Action has a lead 52 over A Certain Point of View, which has 28. In Rookie of the Year, Ben Goddard leads 147. Barbarian with 53 right now.
What? That's insane to me. I thought it was going to be like neck and neck with me and Craig. That dude is a beast.
Player of the Year right now, and again, this is before any of the tournaments. Ellison is in second place with 101 votes. Cabrera in first place with 148 votes.
Wow.
Manager of the Year right now, Dagnino in second place with 119. Winston Marshall in first with 281 votes right now. That's right now. So that
I think that if you are voting right now, just objectively speaking, and you're not voting for Winston, you're not watching. Yeah. Because what he's been able to do is like unfucking believable. Because Tom is a buffoon, and we all know that. But he also was given something that none of us were given, and Winston was not given that. And for Winston to be where he is right now, that is pure management. It's nothing else.
And I will say this for Winston. Winston also wound up having like the 6th or 7th pick when he initially had the first, and he still.
Yeah.
You're gonna remind me about how I ended up down at 8, bruh. But I appreciate it. I'm just gonna say, like, let's not keep talking about it because I'm gonna start crying harder than I did with Ace because I'm a man that wears my emotions on the sleeve. But I do appreciate it, yo.
And we're still mid-season, so anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing is that, like, if we did mid-season awards, Mike would have swept everything last year. But second half, everything can change.
Yeah, but best faction in the world, SWAT.
Super Pop.
Winston, you've done an unbelievable job. I don't like you very much, but I think you've done a really good job.
Oh, come on, girl. You know it's always been a good fun.
Whatever.
Zamicki Flaus, for you youngins on the panel, do you have a favorite Disney Channel original movie from your childhood? Mine is either Brink or Luck of the Irish. Hey, Brett.
Both were so good. Both those movies are so good.
Everyone used to say I used to look like the guy from Luck of the Irish, but it's definitely Brink. Like, we did it for a watch along on my channel. Like, that movie, the rollerblading in that movie still holds up, and so do the lines. Like,
just watched Flight of the Navigator the other day, so yeah.
That's not a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Halloween Town.
Oh,
yeah. Don't try to get in with these youngsters, Christian.
I'm from a younger generation, so it's a little different.
Talking about, I was talking about the old school Disney movie, so forget that. I don't know.
But yeah, I would probably, just because I'm a little younger, I'd probably go High School Musical.
Okay. All right.
Jedi89. Hi, Tuesday crew. I need some friends' advice. My best friend of 12 years is going through something. He won't listen to my problems or give me advice. We are both 28. He said he needs time for himself. Is this a part of life? He said he needs to focus on him.
Yeah.
That's it's sad, but that 1,000% is life. Like, one of my best friends from college, I see him now maybe once a quarter, before COVID, just because life has just taken us in two separate directions.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the question. Next one.
27 likes away from 500, guys. Almost there. Keep liking the video, please. Michael Scarn, do y'all have a favorite The Office moment or episode that sticks out to you? The one where Jim convinces Dwight that he's Asian kills me every time. Asian Jim is definitely the best Dwight prank, for sure. I will agree with that. I
tell you, I watched that show pretty religiously for the first couple, whatever it was, and I tuned back in the other night. My wife had brought up an old episode, and it was one where Carell wasn't on it anymore, and they had Andy running the thing. It's just so subpar.
Oh yeah, once they get back from Florida, once they get back from Florida is when it falls apart.
Yo, Stanley cussing out Steve Carell is the funniest shit. Have you lost your goddamn mind? Because I can help you find it.
No, that's him cussing out Ryan because Kelly tells Stanley that he's hitting on his daughter.
That's right. That's right.
Where you looking? Jesus himself could walk through that door. He ain't gonna help you.
My favorite part of sitcoms is always the love stories because you guys know I'm like a complete hopeless romantic. And so anything Pam and Jim just like move my whole soul. I mean, all their big episodes are my favorites.
We just rewatched their wedding episode 2 nights ago.
So good.
It's so unfortunate it's to a Chris Brown song, but other than that, it really is perfect.
Yeah.
Hitman Hudson. Forget Trump, Clinton, or Prince Andrew. Epstein was killed by Chris Tucker's people.
Oh, fuck. Nah, call me! Jeffrey, no! No, Jeffrey!
Have you guys been seeing all the Chrissy Teigen stuff tied in with it?
No.
No, she's fine. She's just getting attacked by people because it came out that, or somebody said that she was on a flight log going there, and now everybody's calling her a pedophile, and she had to delete her socials and do all this stuff. It's been crazy, yeah.
All right, 10 more minutes here. What do we
hurt people?
B. Arthur can get it. I hate conspiracy theories, but as I'm sure as I am that Rose from St. Olaf is as sure that I am Epstein was murdered in his cell. Dude could have brought down all of Western civilization.
Yeah, easily. And I think Maxwell still can, but the question is, will she?
Yeah. Garrett Amley, happy Tuesday, my dudes. Looking for a funny show that doesn't have to do with anything with the current world. Has anyone seen Norsemen on Netflix? It's an original series that is a spoof on Vikings. It's hilarious. Season 3 drops tomorrow. Hi, Brett.
I'll have to check that out.
Any excuse for Brett's going Vikings in front of his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, did y'all see the top prank on Twitter yesterday? Because Nicki Minaj announced that she's pregnant and everybody was saying it was Tom Holland's child? That shit had me dying.
Tom Holland?
People were shipping the two of them like last year, and so once Nicki announced it, they're like, "Oh shit, we got a spider baby!"
Oh god, okay. I don't know. I'm old. 156 Impulse. Hi guys, did you guys know that they are making a Magic School Bus movie and Wishbone movie? This is my childhood. Did you guys watch them? And thanks again for the advice from yesterday. Go Yankees. MLB starts Thursday. Kristian, is Cole pitching on Thursday?
I think so, but I don't. I think so. Ed Harrell is in here. I think he is. Next.
But yeah, I'm excited for the Magic School Bus movie. I wish it was animated. It's live action. I don't know why it's live action. Review and play 23. Jeff Snyder is an underrated competitor. I watched some of the older title matches, and his level of play are really impressive. I suspect this is a Snyder single tournament.
Snyder, you can't. I can't remember which after show. There's been so many great after shows, by the way, or podcasts now that I listen to. I listen to a lot of them, but I can't remember which one was talking about Snyder, and he's like, you can't sleep on Snyder because there's the thing with him. It's like which Snyder are you going to see? Are you going to see the Snyder that played against Bibiani where he shuts down, or are you going to see the Snyder Patriots Odd Couple Snyder, or even the Ethan Irwin Snyder? Because he had that one, he just had a bum 5-pointer. But Snyder, if Snyder's invested, you better look out. Roxy, have you talked to him at all? What be honest, how's he look right now?
I think that to be 100% transparent, that he's been going through the ringer, and that's going to be very helpful for this. I think when you are going through a challenging time in life and you are doing everything he's just watching movies, and I think he's just going to show up and perform, and this means a lot to him. And I don't know anybody who is more movie knowledgeable than he is. I don't know anybody who watches more films than he does. And I think that he's completely dialed in. He's got to spend a decent amount of time with his family and whatnot. And I just think that I also believe, and I have a lot of great players in this tournament, but I believe that he might take the entire thing.
He certainly has a shot. I think he's one of the best players that's ever played the game. He
is, and that's why. He's always. Do you notice, Kristian, when you said for heel of the league, for player of the his name is thrown out all of the time, but he never actually is the selection, and that's not right to him because he really, I believe, should end up on the Mount Rushmore. He is so good, such an incredible character, such an amazing person in the league that people just absolutely despise but love that they despise him. He's so knowledgeable. His trivia is he's everything.
I think if he would have beat Paul in New York, him getting cheered while Paul was getting booed was such a big moment. If he would have won that match, he would definitely be 4 or 5 spot for sure.
That was a tough one. And
it was.
I'm looking forward to redemption on that.
Andre Porter. Oh, are you still going? Oh, sorry.
I was the only time I've ever seen Snyder get cheered ever that against Oyama that time. Anyway, go ahead.
And I do have to give credit for Oyama for being that good at what he was doing. That if you can make people cheer Snyder, you're doing something right. Andre Porter, what are your thoughts on Kanye's manic tweets last night? It makes me very sad. What we're watching an unwell man, a husband, a father unravel. I wish the motherfucker finally gets long-term help.
I thought I don't want to go into that, but because it's not my place to say. I don't know, but what I will say is I thought that he had taken away. I thought he had decided not to run for president.
He just didn't. He didn't get a lot of the petitions signed to get on ballots. He was already behind on a few different states. But there's a thing that I saw this morning before we started that Dave Chappelle flew out to Wyoming to see him, and he apparently gave a whole speech at a press conference. Chappelle did. So I want to check it out once we're done. But yeah,
I mean, I don't know enough about it, so I'm not gonna comment on it. What's next?
Real heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
House Heisenberg, for the rap fans in the crew, who is a rapper you like a lot but doesn't get the mainstream recognition they deserve? I recently started listening to J.I.D. and this kid is criminally underrated. His flow and lyrics are crazy good.
MF Doom. I mean, he's kind of conquered underground for a long time, but MF Doom is probably the greatest lyricist I've ever heard. He's crazy.
RB3 and I have been going back and forth on old school East Coast rap, but you know who? Freddie Gibbs is really good too.
Yes, sir.
Freddie Gibbs is amazing. I also want to shout out YMB Corday. I think he's an amazing young artist as well.
All right, what's next?
Review and play 23. Guys, have you rewatched the Patrice O'Neal Elephant in the Room special? Even though it's almost 10 years old, it still holds up.
It's phenomenal. He has a whole thing about how you, as a black man, how you make sure they find you if you go missing at sea. You take you take a white baby with you, they'll find that white baby in 2 seconds.
That first half hour, like, I couldn't breathe. Like, I was laughing so hard. Oh my, like, I miss Patrice O'Neal so much. He's so funny. Christian Alante, hey Winston, Legend of Korra is coming to Netflix on August 14th, so you don't have to roll with the CBS All Access anymore.
I'm gonna cancel that shit tonight.
Hi Roxy, do you like the Celtics' chances? I like our underdog chances. The Celtics have always played better as underdogs.
Yeah, I agree that they have, and I do. I'm still confused on what's going to happen with sports in general, with basketball, more so with football because of everything. I don't know if you guys have talked about what's going on in football right now, but yes, I like for all of Boston sports right now. I think we're looking pretty good.
B. Arthur can get it. Hey, Winston, I also have a Flash mixer bottle and had been fat since 3rd grade. If I look like David Diggs, we would essentially be twins.
He's so hot.
Cody Allen. Roxy, your natural tendency to burst into songs seemingly at random is a delight. Hi, Brett.
Hello.
Hi, Brett.
Texas Hunter. Schmodown question. Do you think Zipper has redeemed himself from last season? He was a bit of a falling star. He might not have the best record this year, but he has really stepped up his game.
I do. I think that Zipper is a guy, and I think he's got a good shot in doing well in singles. He's another person similar to Roxy that really cares about this thing and wants to do well, and he takes his losses so hard. I love the dude. I really do. I think Zipper is and I met him through Winston, and he's just such he's got such a good heart, and I want to see him do well, and he tries so damn hard. So I think that I don't know if this season is his season, but I think he's going to have a strong season 8.
Yeah, I don't want to break kayfabe, but there's a reason why I love the guy with all my heart, man.
Yeah, he's a great dude. All right, next.
Marshall Weeks. Hey guys, curious if you've seen VFX artists react videos on YouTube. It's really interesting. They break down good and bad VFX scenes and go into how they are done. The channel is called Corridor Crew, and they also do stuntmen and women react. Hey, Brett.
Great. It's a great channel. I've seen a lot of their stuff that they've done, like the Home Alone stuff. It's a great channel.
Yeah. Zandaf. How much do I need to pay for Brett to do an indignant black guy voice?
Nope.
Nope.
Not enough. Do you have
buy us an island?
Yes.
Put a
I was
price
gonna
on it.
say, can you get Jeffrey Epstein killed? Do you have enough money for that? If you can,
He's already dead.
fucking RB3, man.
Not wrong.
Corey Knott, being married, I'm curious, how do people date during the COVID times? You can get COVID from every human orifice. No riding high on the hog.
No, I know. I don't know. I think you get you gotta get lucky and find somebody like Bonnie just found somebody like right before COVID. So like
Yeah, they were quarantined together.
They were, and then she posted like she's been going to they went to this place in like Palm Springs where it's like super quarantined off the way that they opened up. It still makes me nervous, but I think that like the way that this hotel was taking it, like there's ways that you can do it, but it's just tough, man.
I hear it's actually there is a good point to it because you don't have to physically meet up with people, so you do connect on a different level rather than having to go somewhere and find somebody that is a total piece of trash and then have to work your way out of the room because you can just click bye. So that element I heard is good in these times. So there is a positive to everything.
There is. How much do we have? I have to bring it back to tomorrow.
We're probably got to do tomorrow because there's super chats as well.
All right.
So let me do the super chats because there's 3 right here. Nick Bascom, Schmoville. Thank you, Nick, for the $20. Hero 25. Hey everyone, I've grown up building my physical movie collection, but I found Vudu and have been building my new collection there, especially having deals every week. Are physical movies ending?
No.
Internet outages, man. I learned that the hard way.
And also, like, you get HBO Max and you think you're going to get Harry Potter for life. Nope. And then Gabby Max, who is everyone's favorite stand-up comedian? Mine would probably be Dave Attell. Never lets me down.
George Carlin, greatest of all time.
Chappelle.
Bill Burr.
Burr is good.
Probably gotta say Chris Rock.
Are you Steve Martin, Brett?
Steve, it's like Bill Hicks, Steve Martin, and Brian Regan. It's toss up.
Oh, I forgot about Brian Regan.
You got one, Rox?
I don't know enough to know, so I always say Ellis because he's my favorite person.
Aww. It's a good answer. Yeah, we have too many Streamlabs for the rest of the day. Thank you guys for that problem, but we will get to them tomorrow. And thank you for the 521 likes as well.
So
Yes.
Roka's going to be hosting. We have a lot of...
Big Mo movie review donated $20. Physical media is the only way to go.
Yep.
Yep.
It is true. Thank you, Big Moan. Glad to have you back. Glad to have Soggy Mini Muffins back and the whole crew. Anybody that we didn't get to today, Roka will and Ben and the whole crew will get to them tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us here today on the show. It was a great show. Really appreciate it. And thank you to Roxy Striar, RB3, Winston Marshall, Brett Sheridan, Ben Goddard, and all of you. Make sure that you click like. I'm telling you, get on over to Patreon today, whether it's patreon.com/SEN Live. Those posters are coming out pretty soon, everybody. Just let you know, I got an update on that. But the Schmodown Patreon is the way to go right now. Get that $10 level, man. You're going to be getting a lot of matches. And if you don't want to necessarily sign up for the Patreon itself, you can get the matches. The Roka versus Irwin is available now at schmodownlive.com, and also catch up with other things. And please go and subscribe to the Schmodown Clipouts channel. Very, very important if you want to show new people the show. But thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, Roka will see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Garbage.
That last one.
Oh, it was so wet.